and welcome to another BookTube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. Hope you're all well. Ponytail engaged. Welcome to a book haul, November book haul. My book haul shelf on my book trolley, the second shelf, was getting a bit full, so I thought I'd better do this book haul before it gets any more full. So, oh, have I got the... Oh, I've literally... Oh, David, you wouldn't just pass me that, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here are some books that I have been sent by the publishers, bought myself. There was also a... Thank you. Oh, delivery. Oh!
Enjoy that.
Well, we'll start with this one. It's literally just come in the post now. So this is The Archers Unseen. Truth, Turmoil, Gossip and Lies. A Secret History of Ambridge by Julie Beckett. Published by BBC. BBC published this one. And it's just come out. And the lovely, lovely Jackie, who owns the Little Green Bookshop in Herne Bay, which is my favourite bookshop because they're all just so friendly in there and it's so warm and lovely, and there's often someone playing piano as you're browsing, and it's just gorgeous and it's very well curated and lovely. She was kind enough to send me this book as a little thank you for my enthusiasm for her shop over the years, and it was very well received because I love The Archers. I love The Archers so much I've got a podcast. I'm part of a podcast team that hosts about The Archers. It's called All About The Archers. There's a YouTube channel as well, I'll link it down below. But we are actually going to be reading this as part of our All About The Archers book club that sort of runs sporadically. We've only ever done it once before. And we're going to be reading and reviewing this in February. So I was going to stick it on the old Christmas list anyway, but I got it as an early prezi. I'm very much looking forward to it. The main thing that thrilled me when I opened it was that it starts with a family tree, and I have been searching high and low for an Archer's family tree, a very up-to-date one, so perfect there. So thank you very much for Jackie and the Little Green Bookshop. I will link their website down below. If you like to buy books from independent bookshops and you are in the southeast, then please do go and check them out. They're absolutely lovely, and there's some really nice places to visit in Herne Bay in terms of food, and the beach is lovely and you'll just have a nice time. Right, okay, a lot of stuff from publishers which has been lovely. Let's start with this. So this is exciting, isn't it? So there's a new book from Eowyn Ivey. Eowyn Ivey, who is the writer, I'm even loath to undo this because it's such gorgeous packaging. The Snow Child. Remember that book, The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey? Came out a good few years ago. I had it on Kindle. It must be a good few years ago because I had it on Kindle, and I haven't had a Kindle since I've done BookTube. Let me find out, but they've sent me another copy of it. I remember really enjoying it, and I remember it being very, very wintry. 2012 it first came out, so it's 12 years ago. Yeah, so I remember this being hugely wintry and lovely, about a set in Alaska, about a couple who they've been wanting a child for a long, long time, and they build a snow child, and that child comes alive. Yeah, Alaska, the 1920s. I didn't realise it was set that far ago. Jack and Mabel have staked everything on a fresh start in a remote homestead, but the wilderness is a stark place, and Mabel is haunted by the baby she lost many years before. When a little girl appears mysteriously on their land, each is filled with a wonder but also foreboding. Is she what she seems, and can they find room in their hearts for her? And they sent me some lovely stuff with it. So they sent me this gorgeous... This really is gorgeous. A lovely sticker that might well go on my laptop. It says Alaska, land of the midnight sun. I've seen the midnight sun when I was in Norway. They also sent me a bear biscuit with, look at that, I mean that's going to be eaten soon, with these trees on it, which was lovely. And I can't remember, but I think this jam has also come from them as well. This jam was in there. So yeah, artisan black currant sloe gin jam. And then the new book, I don't think, no Daphne, no. She's been very, very naughty and very bitey. The new book is called Blackwoods Blue Sky. It's not out until February next year. Oh, and it's going to the, back in Alaska. So that's probably why the whole big package is all about Alaska. So it said Birdie's keeping it together. Of course she is. So she's a little hungover on her shifts at time and has to bring her daughter to the lodge where she waits tables, but Emmeline never goes hungry. It's a tough town to be a single mother and Birdie just needs to get by. And then Birdie meets Arthur, who is quieter than most men but makes her want to listen, who is gentle with Emmeline and understands Birdie's fascination with the mountains in whose shadow they live. When Arthur asks Birdie and Emmeline to leave the lodge and make a home, just the three of them, in his off-grid cabin, Birdie's answer in a heartbeat is yes. Out in the wilderness, Birdie's days are harsher and richer than she ever imagined possible. Here she will feel truly at one with nature. Here she and Emmeline will learn the whole fearful truth about Arthur. Oh, it sounds great. So there we go. Yeah, so I think both of those are going to go on my winter TBR, which will not be being read until January because we've got to finish the autumn TBR by the end of November, and then it's the Christmas TBR. But there we go. Very excited, quite excited about revisiting The Snow Child as well. And then I kindly was sent a finished copy of Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. You will know, look at that lovely view under there. You will know that I had an absolutely wonderful time with Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. I read the proof copy in September, and it was just so warm and friendly and sparky and perfect for this time of year and gentle and fun, and I had a lovely time with it. And the people over at Book Break got in touch with me and asked me if I would put my thoughts of the first paragraph into a little video that they would then use on their socials. So they said they wanted me to read from the finished copy, so they sent me a finished copy, which is lovely. And I will keep it proudly on my shelves because I had such a lovely time reading this, and I will lend this out. My sister currently has my proof copy, but I will lend this to my mother. But yeah, this is lovely. Please, please, please. It's such a lovely, cosy thing. If you've got birthdays for readers at this time of year, this would be a gorgeous present for that person. So there we go. There are ones I've bought. So let's keep in. Oh, and then one that arrived yesterday that came with a little red flag. That's going to become apparent why soon. Some love hearts. Is that noise, Debbie? Love hearts. Around a book called Red Flags by Sophie Joe, published by Scholastic. Doesn't say when it's out. Let's have a look. I've got the press release here, guys. It is out on the 13th of February, and it's a YA rom-com. It's a witty enemies to lovers dare trope. Ooh, what does dare trope mean? Rom-com to sure to steal your heart. Here we go. It says, Poppy is known for her high standards. Why bother with relationships when boys don't even seem to live up to her expectations? One red flag and she's out. Cam is known for quickly developing the ick. He's never dated anyone, a week here, a month there, but he always spooks. When Poppy's friends challenge her to give someone a chance for 2 whole months, Poppy decides that Cam, her mysterious bus crush, could be the best of an underwhelming bunch. But Cam's been set his own challenge. He's banned from ending things in his next relationship. That means he's ready to do whatever he can to put Poppy off. Sounds like a rom-com. It does sound like she's all that or something. So there we go. That has been sent to me. Lovely stuff. And a little red flag. I've been playing with Daphne with this flag. Debbie, do you want to come and go on the flag? Come on. Come and show yourself. The lights went on and it did confuse you, didn't it? Ready? 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 Come on, just show your little paws. She is a real cat. I'm going to regret that because she's going to be so fluffy on me. Sometimes I get home from work and David's covered in fluff and I say, have you been picking Daphne up? He says, no. I say, you have. Okay, then from the publisher, I was also sent this, which I love books where you get a little excerpt of something every day of the year. You would know that. At the moment on my Friday reading vlogs, we're using 2 of those books every Friday reading vlog. So we've got a poem for whatever season it is, and then we're listening to a piece of classical music for every day. So yeah, and I'm quite keen. I often buy people these books for sort of Christmas and stuff because I think it's a nice thing to do. But yeah, this is that premise, which I love, of an excerpt of something every single day, plus a bit of Black history for every day of the year. Written by David Olusoga, Yinka Olusoga and Kemi Olusoga. Today is, what's the date, David?
28th.
28th of October. Let me read you the bit. It might be too big, but let me have a look, because that's another good thing, is that they're not just small bits. That some of these are long bits. 28th of October is about Cleo Lane. So I'll give you the first So British singer and actress Cleo Lane was born on the 28th of October 1927 as Clementine Dinah Hitching to an English mother and Jamaican father. She was raised in London and as a child had singing and dancing lessons, but during her teenage years she meandered through a series of unfulfilling jobs before joining the Johnny Dankworth 7 Jazz Group in 1951. She and Dankworth married in 1958, becoming a high-profile interracial couple at a time of intense racial unrest. Oh God, well I'm going to read the whole page because this is lovely. After the Notting Hill riots, the music newspaper Melody Maker issued an appeal for music audiences to speak out in opposition to racism. This sparked Lane, Dankworth and a whole host of musicians, actors and activists to form SCIF, the Star Campaign for Interracial Friendship. They wrote and distributed papers and set up interracial clubs in the defence of the colour bar and received support from Paul Robeson and Frank Sinatra. As an interracial couple, Lane and Dankworth became the faces of the campaign to defeat Notting Hill's White Defence League. Recognising the power of celebrity endorsement and the reach of celebrity voices, SCIF aimed to combat prejudice and promote harmony and provided a template for many future campaigns and organisation. Lane's international singing and acting career has continued over 7 decades, as has her activism. She has received many awards and accolades, and in 1997 she was made Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire. Well, there we go. So yeah, great little bits of Black history, and what I hope and I imagine, based on that, to be moments of Black joy in history as well over the year. So yeah, what a special thing. And they kindly sent me a little chocky with that. So, and I've been waiting to film this so I could eat the little chockies. They're from a place called Dark Sugars. David, is David interested in the little chockies?
No, it's your chocky.
Oh, it's my chocky.
Yeah.
So I've got a strawberry and pink peppercorn, a salted caramel, and a disco star. Oh, the disco star. Oh, let's have one now. I mean, all of these sound like they'd be really into. Oh, God, that's lovely. Disco star. Mmm. Oh, that's really Christmassy. Gonna eat the rest of those later. But yeah. Lovely stuff. Another one. Got them absolutely smothered in books. Do we do the pre-Christmas books? Speaking about Christmas prezzies, I had a training session in Faversham, and it's right by the Tales on Market Street book shop. And I went in and saw this. There isn't even a Christmas display. I am hunting these out in amongst the other books now. This is Gifts by Laura Barnett. And I read the back. 12 people, 12 gifts, 1 Christmas to remember. Maddie runs the bookshop on Market Square. I looked at that and thought, this is a bookshop on Market Square. How random that this book is on Market Square and it's in this bookshop. She's struggling to choose a gift for her old school friend Peter, who's just moved back from London following a messy divorce. Peter doesn't have a clue what to get for his teenage daughter Chloe. He worries that he really doesn't know her at all. Chloe wants to buy something special for her grandmother Irene, her confidant and guiding light who lives alone on the other side of town. Irene doesn't get out much these days, but she'd really like to find the right gift for Alina, who's so much more than a carer really. And Alina, meanwhile, has her eye on something for ... I was like, that sounds nice, doesn't it? That sounds lovely. Christmassy, wintry. I like gift buying. Took it to the till and said, have you seen that it's set in a bookshop set on Market Square? She said, yeah, it's based on here. So it's actually based on the bookshop in Faversham, which is lovely. So I was very, very excited about that. Very excited. So that's going on the Christmas TBR. Then I may well have included this last month. Sorry if I did, but it had fallen into the pile. So I don't know if I did include it. And it's A Concert for Christmas by Helen Hawkins. I'm getting really by deja vu, so I think, oh, what's that, David?
Who's ringing me at this time?
Who's ringing David at this time? And you know I'm in a choir, you'll know I love Christmas. You think this is for me. So it says school teacher Sophie Lawson has fled to the Cotswold countryside after a tragic breakup and is throwing herself into dating a new school and organising Cranswell's annual Christmas concert. However, the festive fun is marred by the arrival of a handsome but surly musical director, tricky pupils and constant preparations falling into disarray. Disaster strikes, but the show must go on. Will Sophie end the year on a high note? I didn't get deja vu from that blurb though, so maybe I haven't read that, but there we go. Christmas TBR. And then I bought The Christmas Wish-Tastrophe by Carrie Lloyd. Carrie is a comedian based in the UK, and along with her friend who is also a comedian, Sarah Pascoe, they run the Weirdos Book Club. Just in this bit of hair going up there. They run the Weirdos Book Club, which is a podcast which started in collaboration with the publishing of Sarah's book on the run up to Christmas last year, called Weirdo, and now they've got this book club where they talk about books that are considered weird, or like, and they talk about what qualifies them for a weirdo, for the Weirdos Book Club. I really, really enjoy it, and Carrie is the author of this book, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to read that. And they're also discussing it for the Weirdos Book Club on the run up to Christmas, so yeah, I'm very excited about it. And then when I read the blurb, when I was picking it up from Waterstones yesterday, it's set in the run up to Christmas, and Lydia Marmalade arrives at Lady Partridge's mansion. She has nothing to her name except her sausage dog Colin, but she's determined to make this her new home. Lady Partridge isn't at all keen to make Lydia part of the family. If Lydia doesn't behave herself until the end of the winter season, she'll cast her off entirely. Helped and often hindered by a mischievous winter sprite, a grumpy butler and a hungry Colin, Lydia makes a wish on the most magical night of the year. Little does she know the chaos she's about to unleash. Full of magic and heart, this Christmas story from the brilliantly funny Carrie Lloyd will make all your Christmas wishes come true. So yes, that's very exciting. So there we go, 3 Christmas books. And then, oh, just before I get onto the ones that have already featured in another video, I was kindly, so second mention of the choir, I go to the choir, and one of the girls that is at the choir there, Natalia, said to me that she's written a short story, and would I be interested in reading it? And I will be interested in reading it. It's called The Happenings in the Czarny Woods by Natalia Pytrak. And yeah, it says, when Valeska wakes up in a mysterious forest with amnesia, she goes on a search for answers and an escape. Instead, she finds the castle in ruins and in the heart of the woods. But when she begins to explore the castle grounds, the flashbacks start, unfamiliar memories seemingly from another time, to which she soon suspects she may not want to remember after all. So there we go. So I will get around to reading that at some point as well. And then the last 4, and this isn't the full book haul, because I will link it down below, but recently it was Bookshop Day, in conjunction with my Cosy Reading Night, we did a Cosy Reading Night, Bookshop Day, lovely time. And at the beginning of that video, I go to the Margate Bookshop and visit there and buy a whole host of books, some of which I've read, and they're on they need to be wrapped up. But here are 4 that I haven't yet read. Rosewater by Liv Little, which I've just watched Leanne Rose review this in her wrap-up of books she read in September, and I wanted to read it anyway, but I want to read it even more now. It's about Elsie. She's sexy, funny and fiercely independent, and she lives in South London. She's 28, but she's also tired. Though she spends her days writing tender poetry in her journal, her nights are spent working long hours for minimum wage at a neighbourhood gay bar. The difficulty of being estranged from her family, struggle of being continually rejected from jobs, and fear of never making money doing what she loves is too great, but Elsie is determined to keep the faith for a little longer at least. Things will surely turn around, they have to. As she tries to breathe through the panic attack, sleeping with her hot and spirited co-worker Bea isn't exactly straightforward and offers Elsie just another place to hide. She's got a bit of Daphne fur in her eye. As Elsie tries to reconnect with her best friend Juliet, her fragile world spirals out of control. Can Elsie steady herself and not fall through the cracks? Excited about that. Then I got myself Kent 40 favourite walks, thinking maybe, like David and I are often saying, we need to get out of the house more. And I was thinking maybe this will be a little series I do next year, following a series of these walks as the year goes by in different seasons and stuff. So yeah, had a look. I think we're also going to need an ordnance survey map to do these, because although they've got, so this one for example is in Cranbrook and Angley, it's not the most detailed of maps, so I think there will be additional stuff needed for that, but there we go. And then also I bought the Axmans Carnival by Catherine Chidgey. I read Pet earlier on this year by Catherine Chidgey. It's one of my favourite books I've read this year, and I've also read Remote Sympathy by the same author. Maybe not last year, maybe the year before. It was longlisted for the Women's Prize. So always interested in that author anyway. And then recently saw Mercedes did a dedicated video to the Axmans Carnival and thought I must get my hands on this book. Now, I'd had a look and I couldn't find where it was out anyway. And I'd looked in a few bookshops and looked online and couldn't find it. And then there it was in the Margate Bookshop. So I bought this and I mean, let me read the blurb. Tamar is just a helpless chick when he is rescued by Marnie, and this is where his story might have ended. If it keeps me awake, says Marnie's husband Rob, the farmer, I'll have to wring its neck. But with Tamar comes new possibilities for the couple's future. Tamar can speak and his fame is growing. Outside in the pines, his father warns him of the wickedness wrought by humans. Indoors, Marnie confides in him about her violent marriage. The more Tamar sees, the more the animal and the human world and all the precarity, darkness and hope within them bleed into one another. Like a stock truck filled with live cargo, the story moves inexorably towards its dramatic conclusion, the annual Axmans Carnival. Part trickster, part surrogate child, part witness, Tamar the Magpie is the star of this story, though what he says aloud to humans is often nonsensical and hilarious. The tale he tells us weaves a disturbingly human sense. There we go. It says the Axmans Carnival is Catherine Chidgey at her finest, comic, profound, poetic and pure and true. Looking forward to that. Like I said, Pet, that I read by Catherine Chidgey earlier on this year, we read it for Patreon Book Club, was brilliant, brilliant. And then the last book out of those, but there were more on the book haul, please do go and watch it, was Boyfriends, by a memoir of joy, grief and male friendship by Michael Peterson. I went to watch Holly McNish reading from her new book Lobster earlier on this year for the Faversham Literary Festival, and Michael Peterson was her warm-up act, or sort of like support act we'll say, and he was great. And I was going to buy, he's got another collection out, one's got like a little cat bum on it, and I was going to buy a collection there. I think maybe I was just being very careful with my money, and I'd already bought Holly's book that day, so I was like, oh, I won't buy it. But I picked this up, and yeah, it's about sort of toxic masculinity. I thought it was a poetry collection, but it's not. It's more like a sort of memoir. But yeah, I loved the way he spoke, and his poetry was amazing, so I imagine I will also love this. So there we go. Books and bits. I'm gonna have another little chocky now. I was thinking I'll take this to the cinema tonight. I will not take this to the cinema tonight. Let me know if you have read any of these books, if any of these sound very exciting to you. Let me know what books you've got your hands on recently, and I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye.